This is the drive home with TT and Zach in the back. Driving home from the Den, where it finished Millwall
3,
Luton Town 1. Isn't that what the centre-back was doing after he scored? You've done that too early, my boy. You've done that too early, because a fantastic second half performance from the Lions. Some great tactical awareness by Gary Rowett. And actually some decent quality on the pitch. Fully deservedly gave the Lions all 3 points today. You know, it's tough to talk about the first half, but I think it's important that we talk about the first half, because sometimes it's not going to go your way. Sometimes you set up wrong. Sometimes you've got the wrong players on the pitch for the opposition. And today we did that, because the first half was absolutely atrocious. It was, you know, the stands, everyone's thinking, here we go again. We're playing I'm going to say average, but I'm being positive. You know, I get told off for being a bit too negative about the opposition, but Luton weren't much cop at all. But we matched their poor play. In fact, they deservedly went 1-0 ahead from a cheap free kick that was allowed to be moved, crossed into the box, and honestly, the defending is absolutely atrocious. You know, you can see him, the defending, because we sit right in line with it. The defending in a line, and no one. It's an outswinging ball, straight on his head, and no one's challenging him. He's got a free header from about 12 yards out, which is not acceptable, and puts Luton deservedly ahead. In the first half, really, we knocked a couple of balls up to Smith. Smith had a couple of chances, but they weren't easy chances. But it wasn't working, you know. We weren't playing direct, but when we do play direct, we're playing it up to him, and he had no one really running off. The two wingers in Aidan and Jed weren't unable to get close enough for the flick-ons to work. So that's enough talking about the first half, because I really want to talk about the second half, because the second half was absolutely superb. And what I'll do is, although we started off with the 5-2-3 formation, so we had Bart in goal, the three centre-backs of Pearce, Cooper and Hutchinson. Right wing-back was Marlon Romeo. Left wing-back was Shane Ferguson. The centre midfield was Jason Malumbe and Shawn Williams. Right wing was Jed Wallace. Left wing was Aidan O'Brien, and up front on his own was Matt Smith. The substitution, just before half-time and just after the goal, which came at an awkward time, but Daddy Bradshaw come up, changed to a 4-4-2, and Pearce surprisingly was subbed, and you can see how disappointed he is. And he's a team player, though. A lot of players in that situation would have been fuming being taken off, and you could see that individually he was disappointed, but it was a tactical masterstroke, really. And you know, we could see that Bradshaw was warming up and coming on, and you're thinking, who's he going to take off? Because Smith wasn't having a great game, wasn't very mobile in the first half. But he made the right decision by changing formation, and we haven't seen that a lot at the Den. You know, we've been used to, no matter what happens, we're playing this way. Whatever we start with, we're playing, and it wasn't working. And it was really good to see him change that up. So I don't know whether I've said it already, because I've said a lot, but I want to say Happy New Year to every single one of you that watch this. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel and watching it. I've appreciated your support. Zach loves the support, and we love your comments. If you could like this video, if we can get this up to start the 2020 in the right way, that would be great. But going back to the football, I thought that today we showed a lot. For me, it's a real big turning point in our season, that when things are not going right. Yes, it was poor, and we were poor. Remember, the first half against Luton at Kenilworth Road, we were equally as abject. And we came out and we blustered a lot, but we didn't really create anything. Today we were creating chances in that second half, and I've mentioned Tom Bradshaw, and having the two up front worked really well. Obviously for the first goal, the ball's delivered. It was a lovely delivery to Smith at the back post, who nods it in, and Bradshaw there gets in front of two defenders to nod it in from about 2 yards out, and that is a masterstroke of a substitution to see how we play. And then the second substitution, Aidan O'Brien coming off, and I thought that Aidan didn't do too badly, to be honest. It's another game where I was impressed with Aidan's persistence and his dribbling qualities. But Conor Mahoney came on for Aidan and was absolutely superb. You know, for me, Conor Mahoney really does seem like a confidence player. And as soon as he had the confidence to run for that second goal, he's run through on goal, and he's taken another touch where a lot of players wouldn't have taken that extra touch. He's taken that extra touch, put it outside him and bent it into the bottom right-hand corner. It was a great finish to put us 2-1 up, and then we're absolutely flying. And only a couple of minutes later, what I liked again is that we played the ball around the back, from side to side, didn't panic, didn't just lump it forward, which we've been, which we've done previously. He's lumped it from side to side, plays it to the left. I think it was Murray Wallace that plays in Conor Mahoney, who puts in an absolutely sublime, right in front of us, me, Zach and the family, whips the ball into Matt Smith to head it at the far post. And 3 cracking goals, really, for different reasons. But like I said, Connor's come in and changed the game, and I've done it slightly differently because I wanted to highlight that before. What's it called? We obviously had Bartosz in goal, and I felt Bart, he was walking around and he comes round late to clap the fans. And I was motioning for him to sign, because you really do want him to sign on. I don't know why he'd want to go to anywhere else. Obviously money will play a factor, but I really wanted to sign, and I felt that he'd done what he needed to do. There's nothing he could do for the goal, but a couple of shots from Luton in the first half. They've done absolutely nothing in the second half, Luton. Absolutely nothing. And for that reason, he comfortably gets a 7 from me. Zach, what are you going to give Bart?
I thought every save that he had to make today was a good one. It weren't an amazing one, but one of them was quite good, but all of them were good. And I like the fact that Bart can catch a ball. Like Archer, let it go under him. Bart catches it, doesn't let it go in. It is a solid 8.
Solid 8. And Zach mentioned something there, and there's a couple of shots that we had, well, they had, Luton, and they weren't much cop, but we've seen them go in, with previous goalkeepers, and especially Jordan Archer. You've seen them spill. And I was watching the Channel 5 Quest with the goals and watching Oxford, because as you do, you're watching the lower leagues, and you see Jordan, like Zach said, he spills the ball for a striker to come in and score, and Bart doesn't do that very often. And I don't want to jinx him, but he's so much more secure at the back, and I really hope we sign him up. We moved to the centre backs, and surprisingly they had a bit to do in the first half, but we weren't. I think we overplayed. We overplayed in that first half and tried too many passes, because the midfield we couldn't get the ball into the midfield. But defensively, I felt that all of them done all right, like other than defending the set piece for the goal. And I'll give all 3 centre backs a 7. Zach?
So I'm not going to rate Pierce because it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rate Cooper and Hutchinson. I think second half, wow, they were like everything that come to them. They just met the ball and took it. It was a solid performance from the defenders today. So I'll give them both a 7-2.
Cool. Marlon Romeo at right wing back, and then Shane Ferguson at left wing back. It's hard to rate a whole game, because defensively and offensively in the first half, that both players were shocking. They were bad. Marlon gave the ball away quite a lot, and even in the second half, I don't think it was Marlon's best game or Shane Ferguson's best game. And I've got to be honest, I don't think they really got into the game that much, and for that reason, I'll give them both a 6. Zach?
Marlon came alive a little bit more in the second half.
Agreed. I do agree with that. Yeah.
So 7 Marlon and 7.5 Fergie.
7.5 for Fergie. Well, that is generous. And then we move forward to Jason Malumba and Shawn Williams. I thought, I'll start with Shawn Williams, and I felt it was a comfortable performance from Shawn. I don't think he was put under that much pressure, to be honest. It was up against Ryan Tunnicliffe, and I fancy Shawn Williams against Ryan Tunnicliffe, who found our boys quite a lot in a Millwall shirt. Maybe he forgot he was playing for Luton, but because he passed to us quite a lot. But I thought Shawn Williams' performance was a little bit lethargic. I don't think it was as bright as we've seen him recently. For that reason, I'm going to give him 7. I want to give him 7. Zach, what are you going to give him?
I mean, I didn't see Shawn Williams too much on the ball today, but when he was on the ball, like, Williams has some quality under Gary Rowett. I've said it enough. I haven't said it. I have said it enough. He's just quality now.
Yep.
And I'll say a 7.
Okay, and then we go to Jason Malumbe, and I thought Jason struggled first half like the rest of the boys. Second half, I thought he was absolutely superb and actually pushed a little bit for man of the match. I thought he was absolutely determined to take the game to Luton, which is what we needed to do. Like I said, don't panic, run on the ball, and Jason done that so well. And I've said it before, but 4 or 5 times today, you know, Williams, the ball gets played into him, he normally plays the way he's facing. Jason's always looking to receive the ball in the half turn and carry the ball forward. And I suppose that Williams allows Jason to do that by backing him up. But it was so good to see him spreading the play, and I thought he dictated that. For such a young player, I felt like he dictated that second half and really impressed me. And for that reason, I'm going to give him an 8. Zach?
I mean, Jason Malumbe, isn't he on loan?
Yeah.
I want him to sign too.
Yeah.
Like Bar and him. I think they're some of our most quality players at the moment.
Very much so. What are you going to give Jason for today?
I'll give him a 7.
7. Then we go to the, like I said, it's difficult to rate the first half formation, but I thought Aidan done all right. You know, he couldn't really get too much possession of the ball, but he did try to carry the ball forward. He got out-muscled a couple of times, but then he also showed a bit of strength, which you don't really see from him. So for that reason, I'm going to give Aidan a 7. Zach?
So Aidan, he's a very good at finishing. He didn't get a shot today. I'll straight in 7.5.
7.5. And then obviously the right winger was Jed Wallace. Now, it's another difficult performance to rate from Jed. I thought that he'd done plenty of things well, but again, I think maybe because of he set the benchmark so much higher now that you want a lot from him, and I felt like he had a decent game, and his crosses into the box were good. I just don't think the formation in the first half suited us getting on the ball, and when we changed to 4-4-2, I felt like he came into the game a lot more. Certainly, second half, his runs were impressive, and his delivery normally is getting a lot better, and that's something that bodes well. And obviously, we need to keep hold of Jed for the future. There's talk of him going to Aston Villa, and I genuinely hope that doesn't happen. I want to keep hold of him for as long as we can. For that reason, I'll give Jed a 7.5. Zach?
Jed, brilliant assist to Mahoney today. Brilliant. His assist, just a cross ball right to Mahoney. I didn't even know a player could do that at Millwall. Like, the quality that he has. I've never seen him play a game where he's walking. He is a quality player.
So what are you going to give him?
A 7.5.
7.5. Right, and then we've got Matt Smith up front, and like I said, I thought Matt Smith really struggled in the first half, but he showed you exactly what he's on the pitch for in the second half, and actually showed a turn of pace a couple of times, which was good to see. But we've spoke about the goals, and he played a big part in that. But more importantly than that, he made it difficult for Luton defenders to mark him. He made it difficult. You know, I'm going to go into ref watch after I talk about Matt Smith. And there was a lot of manhandling from the Luton players. A lot of times they wanted to stop the play and break it up, and he was being thrown all over the place and didn't get anything. But it was the quality of the goal. You know, I know he's only had to head both bits, but he done that well. And for that reason, for that second half performance, I'm going to give him an 8. Zach?
I'm also going to rate Bradshaw in this little part.
Okay.
I'm going to rate Smith. It's hard because he's a lump. He is a lump,
yeah.
But he has no pace. He does get thrown about. Luton players hate to play against him. So I'm going to give Matt Smith a 7.5 and Bradshaw, brilliant player, works for the ball, brilliant shots, brilliant header today. Going to give him a 8.
Right, now we're going to ref watch. I didn't do it for the last game, but I'm going to do it today. Steve Mahoney was the ref, and he drove me absolutely mental. For anyone that sits near me, I apologise, because I cannot stand when referees allow teams to blatantly cheat, blatantly time waste, and it become a joke. You know, it became a pantomime for our fans that after we'd taken the lead, that their keeper started to speed up. But he allowed them to waste time, and even though how much time was wasted in the second half, he added on 3 minutes. Now, obviously, it was to our advantage that he added on only 3 minutes, but it's so frustrating that he allows them to do that. I'm glad he didn't try and speed us up after we went ahead, because that really would have flipped me over the edge. But then I also want to talk about the fact that we've got 2 absolutely nailed-on penalties. You know, grabbing the shirt, like one of them's nearly taking Cooper's shirt off his back, and you can see. I'm glad that Cooper don't wear a t-shirt underneath it, because you can see the white skin glistening in the at the den, and you're thinking, how is the ref not seeing that? And it drives you mental, and you just think, grow a pair and do what you're supposed to do. See what's in front of you and point to the spot. But he didn't, and that's where it drives me mental. But yeah, Steve Mahoney, what an absolute joke he was. We'll move on to the last 2, and I've saved the best 2 to last. I thought Tom Bradshaw and Conor Mahoney. I'll talk about Tom Bradshaw's liveliness. I love the fact, again, he's willing to come to the ball, control it, spread it one way and the other, and I felt that he's only had a tap-in goal, but I like the fact he interacts with the fans and he wants to get us on side, and for that reason I'm going to give him an 8.5. Zach?
I've already given him an 8.
Oh yeah, you have, sorry, yeah. And then so I'll move on to the last one, Conor Mahoney. And again, I've talked about earlier being a confidence player, but the delivery of the ball, the willingness to run on it, and he's certainly made a stake, to start in the next game. We've got Newport in the FA Cup, but I thought Conor Mahoney, with Jason Malumbe, Matt Smith, and Tom Bradshaw today really stood out. But for me, Conor Mahoney gets man of the match. You get key moments in games. You get times where you want that player to do the quality thing, and he done that today. For me, Conor Mahoney played half a game, but he's getting a 9. Zach, what's Conor getting for you?
I think I've already marked him, but I'm going to mark him again. He was my man of the match too.
Yeah.
He's in, like, his passion to get that ball into the box and to get it right on Matt Smith's head too.
Yeah.
I said to my dad, that is a bit like me. I always put a ball onto someone's head. He does too. He is amazing.
So what are you going to give him?
9.
So 9. So that's a great start to the year. Like I said, Happy New Year from the whole Thomas family. We go again against Newport, where you expect some changes. You're probably going to see Scalak, Mitchell getting some time out there, because we haven't got a big squad. Hopefully we're going to strengthen and buy a couple of players in. But what a time to be a Millwall fan. I'm absolutely buzzing. Zach, you buzzing?
Yep.
And now we've got the rest of the day to enjoy it before I go back to work tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Like if you don't mind. No one likes us. We don't care.